You know that feeling, right? That blast of cool, crisp air from your AC on a scorching hot day. It's just the best. But what if that very system, the one that brings you all that comfort, was actually circulating a hidden threat all through your home? Well, today we're going to take a closer look at the dirty little secret that might be hiding inside your air conditioner. So let's just cut right to it. Is your air conditioner making you sick? It's a pretty startling question, isn't it? But it's a really important one, because the truth is, if an AC unit isn't maintained properly, it can flip from being your best friend in the summer to a major source of mold contamination in your house. So here's the basic problem. Your AC's job is to pull moisture out of the air to make it less humid. But when things go wrong, and they can, that same machine becomes the absolute perfect breeding ground for mold. And from there, it gets pumped directly into the air that you and your family are breathing. I really love this analogy because it is just so spot on. Think about it. Your HVAC system is basically the respiratory system for your entire house. It breathes air in, and then it pushes that air out into every single room through all that ductwork. So if the source, the machine itself, is contaminated with mold, it's literally breathing out mold spores across your entire property. Okay, so how does this actually happen? To get it, we need to look at just a little bit of basic science. It turns out the very process that cools your home is the same one that can create this perfect storm for mold if something breaks down. And you guessed it, it all starts with moisture. The magic word here is condensation. It's simple, really. Your AC pulls in all that warm, humid air from your house and passes it over these super cold metal coils. That sudden drop in temperature forces the water vapor in the air to turn back into liquid water. Just like the droplets that form on the outside of a cold glass of iced tea. That's exactly how it dehumidifies your home. So this is how it's supposed to work in a perfect world. Warm air hits the cold coils, the moisture condenses into water, and that water is all collected in a pan and then drained safely away. Nice, clean, and simple, right? The problem starts the very second any part of this chain breaks down. So let's put on our detective hats and get into the core of this investigation. The source material for this explainer points to 6 really common failure points. Basically, 6 different ways your AC can turn from a friend into a major foe. All right, here they are, the 6 main culprits. We're talking about leaking ductwork, dirty evaporator coils, poor airflow from clogged filters, and clogged drain lines. Then there's moisture just hanging out inside the ducts themselves. And what's the one thing that underpins almost all of this? A simple lack of routine maintenance. Okay, first up, leaking ductwork. This one is huge and it's super common. When your ducts have gaps or breaks in them, they act like a vacuum, sucking in all this gross, unconditioned, humid, and dusty air from places like your attic or your crawl space. All that extra humid air then hits the cool surfaces inside your ducts, and bingo, you get condensation where it's not supposed to be. Now, this concept is absolutely crucial. Think of a dirty evaporator coil as a feeding ground for mold. See, those coils are always wet from condensation. That's their job. But when dust, pet dander, and other gunk settles on them, well, you've just served up a buffet for mold. You've got water, and now you've got food. It's the perfect recipe for a disaster. And it's not just the coils either. The entire air handler unit can become a hotspot for this stuff. We're talking about the drain pan that's meant to catch the water, the insulation inside the unit. Really, any interior surface can get contaminated once mold gets a foothold in there. This brings us to a major mechanical failure. Even if the system is making condensation perfectly, all that water has to go somewhere. But if the drain line gets clogged up, and it can happen easily from a bit of slime or debris, that water has no place to go. So it backs up, overflows the drain pan, and creates a literal swamp inside your HVAC unit. Now this might be the single most overlooked cause. You know that filter you're supposed to change? Well, when it gets clogged, it basically chokes the whole system. The airflow gets restricted. And when not enough air is moving over those cold coils, they can't do their job of pulling moisture out of the air. The result? The humidity level in your entire home goes up, creating an environment where mold can grow just about anywhere. So you might be thinking, if these problems are so common, why don't more people catch them early on? Well, the simple and kind of scary answer is, you just can't see them. The problem develops completely out of sight. This quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head. Your air handler isn't sitting in your living room, right? It's tucked away in a closet or up in a hot attic or in a creepy basement. You don't see the coils getting dirty. You don't see the drain pan about to overflow, not until the problem is already pretty significant. It's a classic case of out of sight, out of mind. But there are clues. Your house might be sending you little warning signs. That telltale, musty, old sock smell when the AC first kicks on, that's a big one. Or maybe the air in your house just feels heavy or stuffy, no matter what. Even an unusual amount of dust could be a sign your system isn't filtering the air like it should. Okay, so we've laid out all the problems. It's a little scary, I know, but now let's talk about the solution. Because the good news is, this is an absolutely solvable issue. You can take back control of your home's air quality. And really, the solution boils down to one simple word: proactivity. You can't just wait around for that musty smell to show up. Routine maintenance is what keeps the system clean, keeps the drains clear, and keeps everything flowing properly. And if you already have your suspicions, a professional inspection is really the only way to know for sure what's going on in there. And a real professional assessment is way more than just a quick peek. It's a comprehensive investigation. A real expert will do a deep visual inspection of the coils and the drain pans. They'll evaluate all your ductwork for leaks. They'll use specialized tools to measure humidity levels. And in some cases, they can even test the air to find out exactly what kind of mold spore levels you're dealing with. It's a data-driven way to find the true source of the problem. And that really brings us to our final thought for today. Every minute of every day, that respiratory system of your home is working, circulating air into every single corner of your house. So after everything we've just talked about, the question you gotta ask yourself is, are you really confident you know what's in that air?